Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining. We have started the meeting just a little bit early. Just going to give it till just on past before we get started. We are expecting a lot of people to join us today for this event, and just want to reach out and say thank you very much for giving us half an hour today, so that we can all learn a little bit about Microsoft and the Copilot product. We have enabled Q&A session for this webinar as well. So if anything pops up, hopefully there'll be just a few minutes spare at the end of the webinar today. We'll be able to answer any questions you may have. Okay. Just another minute or so and then we'll get started. We are recording today's webinar as well, so we'll make this presentation available to those that couldn't make it today, along with a copy of the slides that I'll be using today. And these slides have got loads of links and information and videos that you'll be able to watch as well. So that'll all be shared with our attendees after the meeting. If I could just get somebody to respond that they can hear me okay coming through the webinar.
Yes, thanks.
Very good. Great. I'm not talking to myself. Very good. All right, folks, we might get underway. So just again, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us today. So this is the second of our monthly webinar series for 2025. And today's focus is on Microsoft Copilot. I start by acknowledgement of country. We gather here today on the traditional lands of the Dharawal people, and I extend my respect to any First Nations people joining us today for this webinar. So, introducing Microsoft Copilot. Look, today, by necessity being a relatively short presentation, this is going to be a very short and sharp demonstration of the power of Copilot. We expect there's going to be lots and lots of questions out of today's webinar, and again, myself and my team are available at any stage to talk you through any questions you may have. If anyone was left in any doubt as to where AI is and where it's coming, these numbers, next few slides, should leave you with little doubt that it's definitely, we are living in the age of AI right now. So as of 2024, 75% of all people globally are already using AI at work. And in Australia, it's even stronger. Over 84% of people have started using AI in their regular daily work. So wanted to start with this slide that gives a sort of a representation of what happens to your data when you use something like ChatGPT or an open sourced AI model. So basically it takes a human or an API driven input that goes into a foundational model, and effectively your data or your employees that are using OpenAI or ChatGPT models is effectively putting your data available into the open internet. Microsoft, on the other hand, has taken what we believe to be a better model for how to use AI, particularly in the work environment. So again, starting with a human or API-driven input, your data is then processed through a governance and permissions model. So in other words, when data as sensitive or confidential data is labeled as such within your environment, your Microsoft environment, that data is then prevented from being used or sent into an open or a foundational model for AI. So these are what we think are the key Copilot differentiators when it comes to using AI in the workplace. First of all, Microsoft has made very clear that there should be a governance model and there should be a leadership and focus around how AI is integrated into the workplace. Importantly, Copilot is integrated into the Microsoft environment that we all know and love. It's customizable. We use adoption and skilling using advanced Copilot tools called Copilot Lab. And importantly, we're able for business leaders to measure the impact that Copilot's having on your business. So when Microsoft got involved and started to really invest heavily into Copilot, these 10 scenarios were really the foundational use cases where Microsoft believed that Copilot could and should help employees and business owners get the most out of the AI landscape. So things like recapping a meeting. So letting Copilot keep track of key topics and action items so you can stay focused during the meeting and you don't have to have somebody taking notes. Copilot's useful in summarizing long email threads or drafting an email. It can summarize documents, we're able to use it to to educate teams across a certain project or a topic. It helps you write, so jump-starting creativity. It's also great for, we all have these moments, what did they say? You vaguely remember something being said about a topic. You can have Copilot then do the research for you within your organization's emails and data to search what that person said. It can revise the content, and it's great for transforming emails and Word documents into PowerPoint presentations. So the demonstration we're going to give you today is, and there was a lot of debate in the office here about what's going to be the most effective demonstration given the large number of people from different organisations and backgrounds. But we've landed on doing a demonstration in Teams for you today. If time allows, we've got other demonstrations that we can go through. We can use forms or a demonstration of using Copilot with Excel, or even using Copilot to create a PowerPoint presentation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to switch my screens, just one moment. Okay, so what you should see on the screen now is a blue ribbon. So as I said, what we're going to do today is, the scenario is this, is that there's a person who's missed out on participating in a Teams meeting, and they would like to use Teams to catch up, to get a summary of what was discussed at the meeting, the action items, and where they were mentioned in this meeting that was held earlier today. So first of all, we will go and open Teams, and you'll see that the Teams event here involved Dakota, and Dakota was due to attend a meeting for a volunteer event. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, and Dakota is now going to go in there and select recap, because I'd like to know more about what was discussed at the meeting. So what you'll see here is that you can see the speakers and for when they spoke during that meeting. And you can see that Copilot has already generated a list of topics that was discussed during that meeting. You can also divide, the Copilot's already divided that meeting up into a series of chapters. So again, the person might be interested in marketing and promotion, so they can go and just watch that part of the meeting about where they were talking about marketing and promotions. But we can do a lot more with AI. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to AI Notes here, and we're going to select Mentions. So here, Copilot has already defined out, found it every time Dakota's name was mentioned, and we can see there were 4 mentions of Dakota in this meeting, and what was discussed when they were mentioned. We can also get a transcript of the whole meeting that's automatically generated. But look, we've got time is poor. We don't want to sit there having to read the whole transcript of what happened in that meeting. So why don't we get Copilot to do the hard work for us? So what we're going to do now is recap the meeting. So here we go. So 4 main things occurred. The meeting discussed marketing promotions, logistics and setup, transportation, tasks and responsibilities, volunteer training, and event goals and expectations. What I want to do now is I actually just want to find out what Mario spoke about at the meeting. So with that, we can ask Copilot to just focus on what Mario was presenting at the meeting. So there you go, a nice concise summary of what of Mario's discussions. Now, I actually want to summarize any discussion about parking and transportation that occurred during the meeting. There we go. Very good. So what I want to do now is I want to actually create a table with any action items for each person that came out of this meeting. And there we go. So now we've got concise actions for each individual member of that team meeting. So again, we can just export that table now, copy it into an email, and send it out as a follow-up out of that meeting. So again, very short and sharp, but hopefully that gives you some idea of what the power of Copilot for Teams is. So I'm just going to switch back over to my presentation now. Okay. Sorry, folks, I might get this one instead. Okay. So this next slide, if you can see there's a QR code on the screen there, you can use your cameras now and it will take you through to a dedicated YouTube channel for Microsoft Copilot, where they've got literally tens of videos or more videos in using Copilot in various scenarios. So once again, don't worry too much about that now. You'll get a copy of this presentation post meeting, and you'll be able to go to these sites, and all of these links will be available to you. So I just wanted to again just sort of press on, so how Copilot's used in various scenarios. So in this example that I'm showing on the screen here is creating better sales proposals with an AI assistant. So from conducting research to drafting proposals, Copilot can support you in taking care of routine administrative tasks. So first of all, using Copilot in Loop, we can enhance the upcoming campaign strategy session and generate innovative ideas for storytelling. Using Copilot, we can discover information about potential major customers. Using Copilot, we can summarize key information such as their history, areas of interest, and contact details. We can use Copilot Chat to create a list of bullet notes, bulleted points, and leveraging those email threads within Copilot before we meet with the customer. Using Copilot to create a PowerPoint presentation, incorporating new material, new slides that meets with the business's branding objectives, and also Copilot in Teams so that we can meet with customers and using Teams to basically take those notes like I've just showed you. And last but not least, using Copilot in Word to create that final proposal, and it's suggesting language and formatting options derived from successful proposals in the past. So again, another example. I know we've got a lot of representation here today from a couple of our not-for-profit clients of IT&T. So I just wanted to use this slide to demonstrate what a day in the life would be. So in this case, a fundraising manager, Samantha, she begins her day in Excel. So she's looking at the overall performance and she's using Copilot to analyze the data and create charts. At 8:15, she's meeting with the marketing team to discuss ongoing campaigns, using Copilot to summarize the main open items. At 9, using Copilot to provide a concise summary of the latest trends and articles from within the industry. At 11, creating that PowerPoint presentation. Using Outlook later in the afternoon to help draft emails and to help Samantha connect with her donors. And lastly, using Copilot in Microsoft Teams to catch up on any chat that's occurred during the morning on the company Teams channels. Copilot's able to be used for role-based extensions as well. So there is obviously Copilot for sales, Copilot for service organization, as well as Copilot for finance professionals. So in our experience, organizations need to have a goal in mind when they start down an AI journey. It's well and good to say, okay, we're just going to launch AI and AI business tools for your staff. But those customers and those businesses that actually have goals in mind for what they're aiming to achieve are the ones that tend to succeed in this space. So in other words, a goal for the organization might be to improve productivity for each employee by at least 1 hour per day. So what we're doing is we first of all need to have leadership in place. So that's coming usually from the top down within an organization, and they're aligning their AI to the company's strategy. So when we do that, they're providing clarity and prioritization. So a best practice in this space might be to actually have an AI council within your organization. It also requires human change. So without training and showing and doing what AI is capable of, our staff and our employees will just continue doing the same things over and over. So there should be enablement programs, communication and community, skilling and training are all best practice. And last but not least is having a tech readiness. And as I mentioned before, it's really important that organizations are putting in the work prior to launching AI within the workplace. So making documents in your organization private. For instance, your HR folder within your SharePoints should all be made private and user restricted. to only those people that need to have access to it. Without doing this work, launching Copilot within an unregulated environment would mean that potentially an employee could search up, for instance, what the CEO's salary is, which might cause a few problems. We've got plenty of tools available for companies to have a look at what's needed and what's going to make an AI a success within your organisation. So everything from implementation frameworks to playbooks for business leaders and tech readiness guides. And again, there's links here which will be provided to you after the presentation, so you can go and find these resources for yourselves. There's also plenty of material available as well. So there's loads of what they call a scenario library. Looking at things like marketing, for instance. So how does Copilot help the lives of marketing professionals? It gives you scenarios for how to create more leads, how to add brand value and cost per lead, sales, number of opportunities, close rates, revenues per sale, these sorts of things that these scenario libraries can cover. So just understanding the different AI options with Copilot. So Microsoft Copilot's available now for personal use, and it gives you access to the ChatGPT large language model. It's an AI powered, it will provide web searches, answers, and content generation. Then we've got Copilot, Microsoft Copilot for Work, which is available now for our customers that have Business Premium. And lastly, we've got Copilot for Microsoft 365, and this enables the full integration with the Microsoft suite. And again, that's available for all of our clients now that have Microsoft Premium licenses. But all of these, I should mention, are obviously additional licenses that we would be more than happy to talk to you about. Last but not least, and this is where for organisations that really want to get the most out of Copilot, there is what's called Copilot Studio. And Copilot Studio enables you to extend and customise Copilot to work in the way that you need. So think like Copilot integrating with your CRM or ERP finance systems. So we've got over 1,200 standard and premium connectors to various CRMs and ERP packages out there. And this can incorporate your business processes into Copilot. So with this, you can build your own Copilot specifically to work for your business. It's available as a standalone product. It's quick and easy, and it involves what's called intuitive or low coding tools. So people are able to get involved in this with little in the way of programming skills. I'm just going to show you a little demonstration now of what makes a good prompt when you're using Copilot or any other ChatGPT tool. Okay. So just finishing on the last couple of slides. So we get a lot of our clients we speak to. Who wants Copilot? Everyone does. But who wants to do the security and compliance prep work? Not too many takers. So again, we do stress that this is important work that needs and should be done prior to launching Copilot in your organisation. So this just gives a very high level of what's required when you do that security labeling, and that's about making sure that information in your organisation that's confidential to your organisation is not being misused, even inadvertently misused by well-meaning and well-intentioned employees sending this confidential information out to be used by using ChatGPT or other non-secured AI models. I'll just skip over that video just in the interest of time. But just to end with a few statistics. So 60% of business leaders are saying that lack of innovation or ideas is a concern to their business. And 70% of people indicated they would delegate as much work as possible to AI to lessen their workloads. So those people that have tried, and this is taken from 2023, so it's definitely improved since this information was provided. But most people that have used ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot say they wouldn't want to give it up in terms of how they use it in their work environment. So I just want to finish on this slide, which is that Copilot for Microsoft 365 is the AI assistant that you can trust. It is your data. It's not data that belongs to a AI company. And your data is not used to train or enrich foundation AI models, and your data is protected at every step. Just to finish with a quote from the CEO of Microsoft, and that's to say that at the time when many are calling attention to role technology plays in our society, and Microsoft's mission remains constant. And that is to act with enormous opportunity and responsibility to ensure that the technology we create benefits everyone on the planet. So thank you for your attendance today and for the important services you and your colleagues provide to our communities. I'll open it up now for question and answers. And just while we do that, I just want to finish with how I'm going to email everyone at the end of this presentation with a Copilot demonstration. So I'm going to draft with Copilot. Please send an email to webinar participants. Thank you. So as you can see on the screen here, Copilot's done not a bad job of writing a thank you email to you all today. But look, I think that's a little bit formal for me. So I'd actually like to make that sound a little bit more casual. So, yep, that's pretty close to what I want to do, but I actually want to make it even more casual. And there we go. So I think that's pretty close to the email that I'll send out to everybody today, thanking you for coming. So thank you. I'll now open it up to questions. And I'll also turn on my camera. Hi, everyone. Did anyone have any questions they'd like?
Hello, Brian. My apologies. I came a little bit. It's Zach.
Hello, Zach.
from WCG. I came a little bit late. Is this session recorded for what had already passed, or
It most certainly has, Zach. No, we've recorded
lovely.
the whole session, and we'll more than happy to share.
Perfection. Thank you.
Yeah. I did have a question here from Jennifer, and she's asked me to walk through the Copilot work commercial data protection. So effectively, Jennifer, what we ask of all organizations when we take on a Microsoft Copilot subscription is to look at their OneDrive and SharePoints. So we go through and we basically label up anything that would be considered confidential, and we go further than that. We actually identify those individuals within the organization that should be able to access those that confidential information. So it might be the CEO, it might be the HR manager. These people would access almost everything within the HR folder. How Copilot works, and this is the really, really clever part of Copilot, is say you, Jennifer, had access to the confidential HR folder, and somebody in your organisation is trying desperately to get the information from. They're trying to get the information about how much the CEO is paid. So obviously, if that information's been correctly classified, that person's going to return a negative result. It's not going to return anything. But Jennifer has access to that, and she creates a copy. So she takes a copy and paste of that information off an Excel file and pastes that into another document. Copilot is smart enough to recognize that that secondary document will inherit the same classification as the parent document. So that even if Jennifer saves that document outside of the HR folder and somewhere else within the organization, those same confidentiality and access restrictions are going to apply to that document. So that's the sort of work that I'm talking about, that an organization would go through prior to launching Copilot. You can set up a whole lot of rules for the organization as well. So, websites which are whitelisted, websites which are blacklisted, places that you encourage your team to go and vice versa. So, there's a lot that you can do as an administrator of your organization that helps to protect that sensitive information. Okay, I'm just going through. Was there any other questions that came up?
Short one your way now. Are there any training modules or resources we can pass on to team members to upskill the team on the use of Copilot so it reduces the amount of time management has to train?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And again, when you get this presentation at the end of the as soon as we get it prepared, Zach, there's heaps and heaps of links within my presentation to Microsoft have got a dedicated YouTube channel. They've got great resources for managers, great resources for staff, and they've got scenario-specific training. So if you've got a person or a group of people in sales, for instance, you can direct them towards using Copilot for sales, for instance. So plenty of great resources that'll come your way shortly after we finish today.
Is there a specialist within IT&T that, for example, could be consulted with Copilot and Planner and task management through Teams, or is it mainly referencing through to Microsoft as well, in case we do need to reach out for a consult?
Yeah, no, look, great question, Zach. We would probably engage our wonderful Sash in the early days, but certainly myself and the whole team here we've done a lot of work so far, but there's more work to be done in terms of making sure that we're as skilled as we can be as well when we're showing this work.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Was there any other questions? I am just conscious of everybody's time. We have just run just 3 minutes overtime at this moment. So if there are any other sort of final questions, but otherwise, again, folks, thank you so much for giving of your time today. Please look out for a version of this presentation that'll be shot to everyone in a PDF document post meeting. Yeah, no, thank you. Any other final questions before we finish up today? Okay, just wanted to say thanks again. And look, this is the second of our monthly webinar series. We will be conducting this around the middle of each month for the remainder of this year. So please look out for our next topics, but we are taking suggestions as well from our great clients. So if there's anything that you'd like to learn or understand better, the focus of these presentations is always about education rather than anything else. So our belief is that if we can help you learn a little bit more about a topic in the IT world, the better off that you are, and of course we are as well. So please feel free to shoot me an email with a topic suggestion, and we'd be more than happy to run that for you later in the year. Our next webinar will be held the middle of next month. Please look out for an email with the topic, and we encourage you to register for that when you see that come through. So thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate your time today, and look forward to speaking with you again soon.